Alright, hey guys, and welcome back to the channel and back to another discussion video. Now, in today's video, I wanted to talk about whether or not Finn is any good. Now, with the last couple of weeks, Finn has received a few minor changes that I think have made some really big differences. So what I'm going to do today is, while you guys watch the kill streak that I got with Finn on stream the other night, which was a 41 kill streak on Hoth, I will be explaining to you guys kind of my way of playing Finn, what I think of him, and kind of where he could be improved as a hero overall. And I'm going to be going over my star cards and a few tips for you guys as well. So if you enjoy this video and it does help you out, make sure you leave a big thumbs up on it. Let's see if we can get to 500 likes on the video. I would greatly appreciate that because it does help the channel out a lot. And be sure to comment down below your star card loadout for Finn and whether or not you think it's better than mine. And if it is, I will definitely look to try them out on stream at some point. Anyways, getting into it, the minor changes that have happened in the last couple of weeks to Finn is that his big deal ability will now allow you to sprint during its active time. Beforehand, you couldn't sprint, you got a slower run speed when big deal was activated. Yes, you still got the buff to yourself and your team as well as the extra health, but you were running at a much slower rate, which pretty much got you killed almost 9 times out of 10 when you're activating it. You would use this ability to give yourself a bit of health if you were in danger, but then the slower run speed would end up with the enemy catching up to you and killing you anyway. So that extra health was essentially wasted and the ability kind of just wasn't getting used as much as it should be. The fact that they've now changed this to allow you to sprint, I think is a massive change, and it is really helpful. I find myself using big deal all the time now, and it's definitely a great way to go about killing enemies, as well as keeping your health up and kind of your regen of health up there as well. The other minor change that they made was recently they added the health on kill card to just a standard kill. Whereas before you had to use that little Glee blaster pistol that Finn has that really isn't great unless you've got a quick trigger finger and it's at close range, but I find myself not using it all that often because I prefer to actually just use his default blaster. Don't get me wrong, it can be really good at close quarters and it helps you to see through walls, essentially outlining your enemies on the mini-map as well as through the walls on the map, but I just don't see myself using it all that much. When you play in third person, I tend to just use Jedi a lot, or, you know, just use his hip fire on his blaster. So this 41 kill streak I got on Hoth on stream the other night, a lot of you guys have probably already seen it if you were watching live, but if you haven't, definitely let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. The star cards I was rolling in this kill streak is Covert Leader, which is his health on kill card, Stay Calm, which extends the time of Deadeye every time you get a kill with it, which is really helpful. And then I stack this card with No More Running, which is a damage increase to Deadeye after the first 3 kills. Now, that stack of star cards is ridiculously good. There is a point here where I wipe out 6 or 7 enemies in a matter of probably 10 to 15 seconds, and that's because of this star card stack. Every time I killed an enemy, I had longer time with Deadeye, and the fact that I'd already killed 3 people with Deadeye was giving me a damage increase, which meant I could wipe out enemies that much faster. So this star card loadout is what I have found best as of right now, but if you think I should try some other star cards, let me know. Now, here's the thing with Finn. I think he is a great hero now. He's very effective against infantry. He does really well in Galactic Assault with these changes to his health on kill card and also his big deal ability, but the area where I think Finn needs a little bit of improvement is when he comes up against the enemy villains. Now, don't get me wrong, blaster for blaster, he could probably match most of the villains if played correctly, but the problem Finn has is against lightsaber heroes. Now, these guys are gonna pretty much just push every time they see Finn because it is an almost guaranteed kill. Finn doesn't really have the ability to defend himself once a lightsaber hero is upon him. And I mentioned this on stream earlier today. You think of the likes of Han, Lando, Leia, they've all got ways to escape out from an enemy villain that has a lightsaber because, you know, you think of Han, he's got the detonite charge and the shoulder charge, and these two can both knock enemy villains off their feet. Chewbacca has his stun grenade. Leia has the flash grenade, which, although not as useful as the other two, can still get you out of trouble in certain situations. And then Lando has his stun as well as his smoke grenade. So these are all things that can get them away from lightsaber heroes, or even just delay a lightsaber hero long enough for your team to catch up to you and help you recover. Once your teammates are with you, then they don't have to worry about the lightsaber hero too much because they're going to back off if they see a bunch of people come up behind you. So this is the thing with Finn. I just don't think he's very great against lightsaber heroes. So my suggestion to you would be to avoid them at all costs. If they could do something, maybe, I don't know if you'd need to up his damage a little, but you need to give him something to counter the lightsaber heroes because he doesn't really have anything. You know, I just don't see it doing much. Maybe give his Glee blaster pistol a bit of a buff when he uses the undercover team ability. This might be something that you could could use to counter heroes. I think Leia's blaster as a default does a lot of damage when you land headshots. Maybe you could make the Glee something similar to that. And that way Finn's a bit more viable if he does get pushed by a lightsaber hero and he is at point blank range. Now I'm going to finish off the video by giving you guys a couple of tips that I've found to be really useful with Finn. The first one is to practice hip firing his blaster. Now hip firing his default blaster is going to give you guys a huge piece of help. Now being a longer range blaster, this is meant for aiming in. If you can get used to hip firing it at close ranges when you get pushed by someone with a vanguard or infiltration, or even just getting pushed in general, you're going to want to hip fire this thing and you need to have good accuracy. The slow fire rate of his EL blaster is very unforgiving and it can leave you stranded and out on an island if you got someone charging at you with a vanguard or infiltration. So practice hip firing the blaster. That is tip number one. Tip number two is get used to leading your shots. Now, what I mean by leading your shots is if you see someone running sort of across the map, you know, you're aiming at them from a distance, you want to aim in front of them. You don't want to aim right on them because the shots, by the time the blaster bolt gets to them, the travel time has that shot landing behind the person you're trying to shoot at. So you need to get used to shooting in front of where they're running and kind of aiming ahead of them a little bit. This is going to help your accuracy in landing shots when they're on the move. It's something that I'm still practicing with, but I'm getting better every single time I play Finn. The third tip is going to be something that, you know, people will probably find a bit of a funny tip, and I talk about it all the time because I don't like when officers do this to me, but I think it's definitely a viable tactic when playing Finn, and that is the Fortnite jump. Now, when you have Jedi activated with Finn, I definitely suggest jumping around like a madman while you let the Jedi do all the aiming for you. Pretty much if you can do this, you're not really going to get hit all that much, and by the time Jedi lands a couple of shots on your enemies, they're going to be going down. So you're going to take minimal damage and you're going to get maximum results. Tip number 4 is going to be make sure, if you have the chance, aim for headshots. Headshots with Finn's default blaster is a 2-tap to any infantry except for heavy, which the third shot will then wipe them out. So if you can land headshots, especially at range, you know, you'll be getting aimed at on maps like Hoth or Crate with snipers. If you can take out those specialists with 2 taps to the head, it's definitely a really good tactic because they can't react quick enough. And the last tip for Finn I am going to give you guys, and this is kind of something that I use a little bit more often and that I've kind of started paying attention to more often as well, is how many shots it takes with Deadeye to kill an enemy. So if you're getting run at by infantry that is a specialist, an assault, or an officer that isn't buffed, 3 to 4 shots with the Deadeye is probably going to kill them. And if it's a heavy, it's going to be 5 to 6. The reason I want you guys to keep track of how many shots it takes to kill them is that you can maximize the use of Deadeye. Now, we spoke about earlier the star card that gives you an extended Deadeye time with every kill. The less shots you need to use for Deadeye to wipe out an enemy, the less charge time it's going to drain while you're using it. So if you can keep this at max, you know, only take your 3 or 4 shots to kill, then 3 or 4 shots to kill, then 3 or 4 shots to kill. Every time you get that recharge, you're maximizing how much time you have Deadeye active for. This is a huge tip, not something that a lot of people think about, but it's one of those minor details that can really help you in your kill streak gameplay. So these are all the tips that I've pretty much had so far. Definitely let me know what you guys are thinking of Finn after the update. I think he definitely is great in Galactic Assault. Don't know how well he is in Heroes vs Villains right now. He still struggles against lightsaber heroes, which is why I would love to see a little bit of a buff maybe to his Glee blaster pistol, and that would make him more viable against villains. Other than that, I think he's great. He's a lot of fun to use. You guys know I've loved using Finn for a long time, but I definitely think he's been missing that health on kill card, and I think the big deal not allowing you to sprint in the past was what was holding him back from being really good in Galactic Assault. These 2 changes I think are really great. Congratulations to Guillaume and the team that worked on changing Finn. He is a much better hero now, but like I said before, I would love to see him become even better by making him more viable against villains. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and make sure to smash a big thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for future Battlefront 2 videos. Thank you so much for watching. I am the Twisted Jedi, and may the Force be with you always.
Still out. Sith